All right, we're looking at our final video here for the chapter 1 review. We're doing numbers 32 and 33. I didn't do the last problem because it's really just an extension. There won't be one on your test like it. And mostly I just need to stop making videos at this point. So there is not one for the very last problem, but you can try that one on your own and ask us if you have questions. For these problems, we're going to find the distance between the 2 points. I showed my students 2 ways to do this, and I'm assuming your teacher did too. The first way is you can use a distance formula, which is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. That thing is all under the square root. Or you can use the Pythagorean theorem, which is my favorite theorem. And it should become yours because you're going to use it all year. It's not going away. Figure it out now because it'll make your life way easier down the line. The formula is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. For these videos, I'm going to use the blue theorem, or the blue formula, mostly because I honestly think it's easier. I think if you choose to use a squared plus b squared plus c squared equals c squared, and graph it, it will save you time. I also think you're less likely to make mistakes. If you're using that one, you have to use the graph. So you have to figure out how to graph your points first. So we're going to go ahead and do that. My first point here is 7, negative 1. So I'm going to go over positive 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We go down 1. It should be right about there. My next point is negative 2, 4. So I'm going to go over negative 2 to the left, 1, 2, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a point there. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect those lines. And then you want to form a right triangle between your 2 points. All I'm going to do is start at my green point and go down. And then from my blue one, I'm going to go over. And you want to stop where they should meet, which would be right here. From there, you're going to figure out how long each side is. Now, remember, if you're using the Pythagorean theorem, C has to be your longest side, and it's usually this slanty one here. And by usually, I mean always, it's the one across from your little right angle. So wherever your right angle is across from that, that's the side you're looking at. A and B can flip-flop. So you could call this one A. You could also call it B. I don't really care. I'm going to call it A, and we'll call this one B. Now, if you flip A and B, you will still get the same answer as long as you do it right. We're going to start out by counting out how big A is. So I notice it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares. Notice I counted the squares. I had some people counting lines, and they got a little confused. So count your squares. And then B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just want to make sure that's right. Yes, it is 5. Sorry, my picture's hard to see because I'm drawing on an iPad, but hopefully you can see on yours. So that one is 5. Those are the numbers I'm going to plug into my blue formula, this guy over here. So we're going to have A, which is 9. 9 squared plus B, which is 5 squared equals C squared. We're going to go ahead and simplify. 9 squared gives me 81. Plus 5 squared is 25. And together they equal C squared. When I add those, I get 8. I get 106, I believe, equals C squared. And then my final step is going to be to take the square root of that. I can't do that in my head. I'm assuming you can't either. So you're going to have to use your calculator to figure out what the square root of 106 is. If you can't tell, I'm talking because I need to pull up a calculator. Remember, the square root is this symbol here. If you have trouble finding it on your test or you don't know where it is, please ask. That is something I will gladly answer for you. I would assume if I'm not your teacher would gladly answer that for you. When I do that, I get C equals 10.2956, and it goes on and on and on. We're rounded to the nearest tenth, so we need 1 decimal place. I notice that this one is bigger than 5, so I can round up. So I'm going to say my final answer is 10.3. And that is your distance formula. We're going to do this one more time, probably a little faster on the next slide. So go ahead and keep watching. All right, 35. We have -6, -2, and 1, 3. Again, I'm going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. My a is -6, so I'm going to go over to the left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down 2. Yeah. And then my next one, I'm going to make this just a little bigger. We're going to go over 1 and up 3. So over 1, up 1, 2, 3. And again, I'm going to connect my points. From there, we're going to make our little triangle. So I'm going to go over, and then I'm going to come down. And remember, we need to label our sides. Remember, C is the slanty one. And then A and B can be whichever. It doesn't matter. Let's say this one's A. Let's say this one's B. We need to figure out how long A and B are. So A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those are the numbers I'm going to plug into A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Let me check my math. Yep, those are good. Okay, so we're going to plug those in. So I have 5 squared plus 7 squared equals C squared. If I square 5, I get 25 plus 7 squared is 49, and that equals C squared. Again, at this point, you can type it into your calculator if you don't know what 25 plus 49 is. But if you do that, it should give you 74 equals C squared. That's not a perfect square, so I have to take the square root of both sides. And when I do that, I get C equals the square root of 74, which is 8.6023. Again, this number is below 5, so we're going to say C equals 8.6 as our final answer. All right, that's my final video for chapter 1. Hopefully you feel ready for your test tomorrow. Good luck. If you have any questions, please talk to whoever your teacher is. We would love to help you.